Homespun Garden Life here, and tonight I am making beer traps for slugs in my garden. I started using starter kits this summer, and I think I started planting things in April and end of April, beginning of May, and they grew, but it was still too cold to plant outside, so I ended up putting things in these cups that come already with pre-drilled holes. And then some of those things actually got big, and it still wasn't time where I could actually put them outside and keep them out there, so I started to use these cups. So last night I actually put beer in a plastic container that I had, just a little, like a little butter tub, I guess you could call it. And I thought I videotaped it, but I didn't, and so I'm gonna do it one more time tonight. This time I am going to put it in a second garden bed. So I'll have two traps out there, and we'll see what we find in the morning. I'm going to cut this cup, so there's just about that much of it that I need to worry about filling, and you just put it out. I'm going to dig a hole and set it in the ground so it's level, and then pour beer in it. Now, I picked a beer that was one I didn't mind paying for, and that's not completely perfect, but I don't know. I guess I could be neater about that. I picked a beer that was inexpensive, and I got it in a bottle, and I didn't use it all. So then I thought, what am I going to do, because I don't want to waste it. And so I put the remainder of it in this mason jar. And so I'm going to pour some of this into the mason jar, from the mason jar into the cup. I'm also going to do that with the cup outside, and after we put them in the ground, and see if any slugs. I'm sure there's got to be slugs out there, if there's any slugs out there in the morning. Homespun Garden Life here. So it's dark out, but I wanted to show you. Here is a beer trap in this bed here for slugs. I'm hoping that when we check tomorrow that it's got a few in there. And then here is another one for slugs. I found some this morning, like I said, but I didn't do a very good job of taping it, so I'm hoping that there's more so I can show you what that looks like in the morning. Homespun Garden here, and we're checking out our beer traps this morning to see if any slugs were found. And oh my goodness gracious, in this trap, in this bed, yes, there are five or six maybe in that one. And I had no idea that any of them would be that big as the striped one that you see there. Now, I have heard that the striped slugs are actually good for your beds. If anybody has heard that, let me know. I don't know how I would separate the two. And then, of course, here's one just trying to have a meal that I'm going to get rid of. And so that's just something to that you have to be mindful of in your garden. And then here are again more. I was going to plant in this garden bed yesterday because I had done a beer trap and thought that I'd gotten all of them. That's just probably a silly way of thinking. But there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in here. And I think I had about the same amount yesterday. And so, the nice thing are the beer traps work. And the other thing is a note to self that I'm going to have to go buy more beer. I only bought one bottle. I guess wanting to know if that was actually going to work. And then I've got a couple of other beds with a few bug bites. I'm going to, or eaten leaves, let me say that. And so here's a bed of collard greens. I'll definitely put beer in there tonight. This is broccoli over here, and I'll definitely put a beer trap in there tonight. So here is a healthy way, or a more natural way, let me say, to get rid of the bugs that aren't very good for your garden. And it was inexpensive and not harmful to any of the other plants. Learning as you grow. It's a good thing.